Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on? I am late. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. What's going on, Latrell, man? I see you're here already. Uh, does it matter? People need to smash the like button since they're turned off. I mean, I just don't. You can smash the like button if you want to. It just doesn't show people whatever. You know what I mean? Only because yeah, there are some mischievous activities going on. What's up, Oscar? What's going on? Whew, man. I don't know what it is, just personal note. I've been real dizzy like yesterday and today. I don't know why. It almost feels like vertigo, but I know it's not vertigo. So yeah. Yeah, I still recommend my stream if you hit the thumbs up. It just doesn't show viewers what the ratio is. Hey, Metalhead 555. What's up, Tito? Do you play Stadia games on your Pixel 5 with the Stadia controller? I never bought the Stadia controller. I do use a Switch Pro controller with it, so I could. But yeah. Oh yeah, no problem, man. It was always fun hanging out with you and Mike. So smash the like button. Yeah. As the title implies, man, I'm gonna be talking about the Pixel 5, just where it's at, pretty much close to I am 5 months for me having it. But yeah. So we're gonna do just like a live update. Never got the laptop, but we'll see today. Oh, you're gonna go to Verizon today and get it? Cool. Which one are you getting? Gotta make a few runs. I see. Yeah. Oh man. No, I'm gonna try to make it through this live stream. I feel really dizzy. That's it. It's not vertigo. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I don't know. Hopefully as soon as it comes out. I'm already starting to put money aside right now for it. So by the time October rolls, then I should have enough to buy the Pixel 6. That depends too, because if Carlos ends up getting a couple of Pixel 6s, I might just buy one off of him. You're excited for the GS101 chip? Yeah, I'm pretty interested in seeing how that functions. I'm real curious to know what kind of modem they're going to use. I'm still not on Team Pixel. Yeah, it's all right though. I haven't given it a second thought. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me. I really don't. It, not so much the dizziness. It feels more like, when you get really lightheaded, that's what it feels like. So sometimes when I move, it just feels like it's like a haze and I just feel weird. So I don't know. I'm watching myself right now. If I don't feel better by this evening, I'll just probably end up going to the hospital just to have them check me out, see what's up. I check my heart rate to see if anything's different. Welcome to the new Google Fit on the watch. Yes. Check my phone. Okay. I don't know why I gotta do all this setup again. Why do I gotta set all this up again? Yeah. I got all these notifications. So weird. Okay. All right, let's find out. We'll skip that for now. Try to get it to connect. Oh, okay. Okay, well actually it looks better here on oh, it wants me to relax. I'm testing this feature out now. This exercise takes 2 minutes. It works better if you sit still. Well, I'm sitting still right now. This is weird. Inhale. And this is like a relaxing exercise. I don't think it really does anything. But I wanted to check my heart rate. That's what I wanted to do. Steps today, settings. Activate fit on the phone. I did. I already done that. Well, what the heck's it talking about? This doesn't really help out. It's funny though, because with there we go. Check my heart rate. Okay. It's checking my heart rate right now. I go. What kind of watch is it? It's a Moto 360. All right, Oscar, take it easy, man. 105 is my heart rate right now. Okay, let's see. We got past the pleasantries and stuff like that. Oh yeah, man. Okay, so I've basically had the Pixel 5 since November, so it's been about 5 months, just about. Thanks to Carlos, I got it like a month after it came out. You know, he had like a bunch of them. He gifted one to me, so real big shout out to Carlos for gifting me the Pixel 5. And I'm gonna take my time through this live stream to kind of just give about as much as I can about the Pixel 5. Normally, like I usually shoot review videos about the Pixel 5, and then the thing that sucks about it is when I'm done and I've uploaded the video, then all of a sudden something hits me in the head that I should have talked about that I completely didn't. So I'm gonna try to give about as much as I can today. So first of all, let's get the obvious out of the way. The Snapdragon 765G. How do I feel about this chip? That seems to be the question that a lot of people ask about the Pixel 5 when they ask questions about the Pixel 5 is, how's the 765G processor? How's the processor on it? How's the processor on it? And I'm going to say that, you know what? I don't feel to say that it feels any different from my Pixel 4, which is actually running an 800 series chip from Qualcomm. It doesn't. There's no drastic difference. I don't see one being, super fast compared to the other. They feel about on par, And I think this one has what, the 855 or I think it's the 855 or the 850. Forgot. Let's look at it real quick. But yeah, I definitely don't feel like a drastic difference between the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 5. One would think so because, of course, the 800 series chip and the 700 series chip makes, by number, it makes a difference. But for software optimization, no. I don't feel like a huge difference. I mean, speed-wise, it continues to perform pretty fast. Yeah, Snapdragon 855 on the Pixel 4. Right? You would think that the system on chip that's in here would show signs of it being basically like a mid-ranger. But I have a theory on this. Okay, like I know a lot of people scream, it's got to have a Snapdragon 800 series chip. It's got to have a Snapdragon 800 series chip. It's got to have a flagship chip. It's got to have a flagship chip. But does Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those, do they really require you to have such a beastly powerful chip in order for them to function? Because the only time that I've ever really seen a processor actually get put through its paces is when you're doing like some real heavy stuff on your phone or extreme heavy gaming. That'd be like the only time. But I'm sure that not everybody that has questions about the Pixel 5 or looks into the Pixel 5 is gaming all the time. There's actually some people that don't even do, they hardly even use the phone to an eighth of its of what it's capable to do. It hasn't slowed down on me yet. Yeah, it hasn't slowed down either. I mean, of course, with each update, it tends to get better and better, but there really wasn't much that was really buggy about it to begin with. The only issue that I've ever had has to do with the camera, and I'll get into that when I start talking about the camera. But as far as the Snapdragon 765G, it's not something that you're gonna pick up the phone and be like, oh my gosh, this is super slow. Like I said, compared to my Pixel 4, there's not a difference in what it can do, from doing the everyday things to doing Twitter, to doing Instagram, to watching YouTube videos. There's not anything that, would separate it and make it a drastic difference. And that's just because Android is optimized very well on the Pixels. And that will show with the Pixel 5. To anybody out there who's super curious, because the only reason why that they downplayed the Pixel 5 was because it had a 700 series chip, I challenge you to pick up a Pixel 5 and use it. And you will be shocked. You will be shocked. It's like what is it, the LG Velvet? I think it has the 765G. One person was saying that the 765G chip was horrible because on the LG Velvet, it was pretty buggy. I haven't experienced that on my Pixel 5, and that's the same processing chip too. So really, software optimization plays a big part, which is what I've always been kind of advocating for the longest time, is that the hardware number part doesn't really make the experience, the user experience itself, the software. I've always told people this, that, software counts for most of the user experience over the hardware. The hardware plays a key to it to an extent, but it doesn't go further beyond that. But the software does. And the optimization with Android on the Pixel 5 is top notch. It's solid. So even though it's not an 800 series chip, it feels flagship-esque, if I'm going to put it in that term. Yeah, I think people want the flagship processors for the sake of that. They know it'll last longer than mid-rangers. I mean, the way that the tech space moves with consumers, that would be a very good argumentative point for some out there, if there were people out there who were just literally upgrading 2 or 3 years or 5 years, you know what I mean? When it comes on the Android side of things, because new things is always introduced, new features is always brought out, that people tend to upgrade every year. So the worries of a chip not being supported for the long haul, I mean, when you're upgrading every year, what does it matter? And even then, too, 800 series chip seems to they seem to show their age at around a year. So even then, like the 800 series chip, to be honest with people, doesn't really go that far. I mean, you can continue to use it, and feature compatibility and the longevity of it is there, but it tends to show its ugly side about a year. So I ain't all that interested in the yearly upgrades no more. Some people grow out of it, you know what I mean? But then again, with the 765G, I do think that, with the Pixel 5, if I didn't buy the Pixel 6, I'd be okay. I'd be all right. I feel like that the 5 will still carry me on through, until its last breath. I mean, that's one of the things with Pixels that kind of shocks me, is that even as they become older and older, they still work great. I mean, the Pixel 2 XL I turned it on the other day, connected it to the Wi-Fi in the house, and just played around with it. And it's as solid as my Pixel 5 as far as the user experience, as far as the responsiveness to commands given to it, by the touch. Right? It still flies. It's butter. So with that being said, as far as performance, don't always judge a book by its cover. Just because it's a 700 series chip doesn't mean that you're going to be throwing the phone against the wall out of anger. This phone flies. The Pixel 5 flies. Okay, still great. And there are people who still openly discuss how shocked they are that, what they expected the phone to perform at actually performs better than their expectations. He built a 700 series chip inside this phone. So that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. Let's kind of talk about cameras, because obviously Pixels is basically, that's what the Pixels is known for, is the cameras, camera quality, picture quality. And hands down, bar none, best, in my opinion, best for taking still photography. Still does great. The only issue I ran into with the Pixel 5s, that I've said it in many of my reviews, is the calibration when you're trying to level your shot. So obviously the camera now has a little sensor that will tell you if your photo is kind of like offset, if it's like 1 degree more leaning to the left or 1 degree more leaning to the right. And when you're trying to level your shot, I did notice that it's not calibrated right. It is slightly off. So when I am holding the phone to take a photo, I actually do kind of go 1 degree to the left just for it to balance at 0. So that kind of pretty much told me that the calibration on the camera sensor is off. However, I don't rely on that. So even if I'm holding it and it tells me that it's 1 degree to the right, well, to me, that's leveled since the calibration is off. But that's pretty much it as far as like the negativity I can give about the camera. Other than that, taking photos is actually it's pretty good. Now, people always tend to wonder, how are people posting on Instagram with the hashtag Team Pixel and getting all these great dramatic shots? I'll tell you, about 50% of those shots is done from DSLRs. And people are just putting a hashtag just to get the view count through it. Some of the ones that are more than likely taken from the Pixel 5, when they hashtag, Pixel 5 in their Instagram post or whatever, but how they achieve those immaculate shots, taking photos is an art, right? Photography is an art. At the end of the day, it ain't off for my Pixel 5. Well, that's great. I'm glad not everybody's affected by it. Hey, that OnePlus guy's here. Pixel 5 or OnePlus 9 Pro? I'm leaning on the Pixel. There are some issues that I'm hearing about the OnePlus 9 Pro that, it's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm always going to go with Pixel 5 when it comes to photography. But yeah, how people achieve those shots. And since you're here, Rishi, you can actually probably validate this. But like when people post shots on Instagram and they have those really immaculate photos taken from a Pixel 5, and people are wondering, like, when I take a picture, it doesn't look nothing like that. Why is that? Well, photography is an art. Photography takes skill. One of the things you got to have with photography, you got to have patience. You got to have an imagination. And the hardest part of that imagination is wielding that imagination into reality. For what you're looking at with your own bare eyes, what you might envision your photo to look like, you're now going to have to try and capture that moment, right? Patience and a steady hand. There's all kinds of videos and articles that talk about like how people can achieve, like a very steady shot, different tips and tricks, like how you should hold your phone. One I read actually explained that when you're taking a photo, so like, for one, you kind of want these two fingers here at the edge. You want this one more like bracing the phone itself, and your thumb is free to hit the shutter button. And when you're taking the shot, exhale to slow your body movement, so you're not getting a very jittery shot. And it's worked out. I tried it. It works out for me. But yeah, you can't just go be like, oh yeah, this is the Pixel 5. It's gonna make the best picture ever. Click, and that's it. Or like click, 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 click. Like, you're gonna get mediocre shots that way. If you're trying to get like these really, really immaculate shots, you're gonna have to slow your roll, be patient, and go for that moment. Smartphone photography requires skill. You're right. Pixel is crazy easy though. For OnePlus, you got to use Pro mode. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about that. You got to use Pro mode. There's also like the what was it? I forgot who did the comparison between the OnePlus 9 and OnePlus 9 Pro. They were talking about the HDR issue or something like that. But that's for another video, another time. But yeah, point and shoot. I mean, you got to give it up to the Pixel. It really kind of shows like how strong it is. If you could just point and shoot and still get a pretty decent shot, compared to like some devices out there where you can point and shoot and like subject will kind of be in focus, but then certain things will just kind of be like really blurred, or one area of the photo will be kind of blurred just because of the focus going in and out. Those types of things. So with the Google Pixel, it uses AI to correct a lot of imperfections, right? So when you snap that photo, it's got to process that photo because it's going to, it takes multiple shots and kind of just uses AI to correct the imperfections, balance out things and stuff like that. But of course, obviously, if you have a subscription to Google One, or the Google One membership, you have access to basically edit your photos. So you can also fix a lot of those issues. Or if you're wanting to like say like the way that this viewfinder looks and how it's showing me this side right here is darker, right? But I can actually lighten this side up, and AI would fix that with lighting naturally using AI intelligence to correct and light the area up without it making it look like a genuine light, like a natural light, not something that's unnatural. And so with Pixel 5s, just in Pixels in general, the Pixel 5, definitely you can achieve some really amazing shots with it. You gotta have an imagination. You gotta let your imagination roll. You gotta roll the dice, and you gotta try to capture that moment. But even then, just for like a simple point and shoot type scenario, you'll still get some decent shots. I went to the Grand Canyon and took some photos out there, and it came out pretty great. One thing I will say with the Pixel 5 is that Google did actually listen to its consumers. That as much as it's, people will say it's king of still photography, they also wanted something given with video. And so the new video options that come with the Pixel 5 are a great touch, I have to say. I didn't get to play around with them too much, but I think I'm going to do that this weekend, is really kind of play around with a lot of those video options and put together a video to kind of really show what the Pixel 5 can do in video. But I mean, I've used the Pixel 5 to shoot video vlogs, and they came out okay. People didn't complain about the video quality or anything like that. So I got to give it to them. Now, only imagine if Google stepped away from the Sony IMX363 sensor and went up to a higher sensor with Sony with the Pixel 5. Just imagine what kind of photos you would have gotten then. But that's happening in the Pixel 6. We're getting new camera sensors finally with the Pixel 6. So not only do we get the GS101 chip, but we also get new camera sensors. Kind of excited for that. But yeah, the video is actually pretty good. So kind of roll it into the audio side of things. The audio, I'm going to say that the Pixel 5 kind of lacks. I was kind of slightly disappointed with the audio. Not that it's horrible. It doesn't sound like a squawk box. It's not anything like that. Of course, with the latest updates, phone calls have actually been pretty good on it. I can hear the callers pretty well through the display glass itself. But yeah, I guess the reason why I said I was a little bit disappointed was because the audio quality of my Pixel 4 sounds better. It sounds better than the Pixel 5. And to be quite honest, the Pixel 4a sounds a bit more crispier than the Pixel 5. And I'm thinking it because it has to do with the speaker being underneath the display on the Pixel 5. Not sure why they didn't just open up a small slit at the top up here for, you know, the speaker slash ear, you know, a call receiver. Why didn't they just do that? Burying it under the display kind of like really helps, because really you're only really depending on one speaker driver to kind of really fulfill that surround sound. And that's the bottom firing speaker. The top one, I mean, I've tried it. I've covered this while playing a YouTube video. This is not loud. The speaker underneath the display here is not loud at all. So you got a speaker under the display that's slightly muffled. You got a bottom firing driver that's loud. That makes for a bad sound experience. Whereas, you know, on the Pixel 4, you got a top firing driver up here and a bottom firing driver down here. The audio quality seems pretty good. I covered this. The bass is kind of, you know, muffled, but like the mids is kicking, you know, like a mid tweeter combination. It's kicking out of that top speaker. I let that go and the bass hits out. When I'm holding the phone cupped in my hand here, it kind of shoots the audio at me. But the Pixel 4's audio is pretty good. I still say I like the audio from the Pixel 4 over the Pixel 5. The Pixel 5, it's slightly loud. Not as loud as I would want it to be, but it's still loud. You can still hear things out of it, and especially in noisy environments, you still can. Just that top speaker, that wasn't a good move for them to put it under the display. And you still got a little bit of like a very skinny bezel up here. They could have easily just cut into that bezel and placed the top firing speaker up there. I'd have been totally okay with that, you know, because at least the sound would have been a lot louder. That's what sets the audio off on the Pixel 5. It's just you got a very loud bottom firing driver down here and a buried speaker on the top up there that's muffled. So, but I mean, call quality has changed. When this first came out, I don't know why it was this way, but basically the opening to my ear canal would have to be placed right around here, like close to the middle, to hear somebody on a phone call really clear and loud. The higher up that I went, they kind of sounded distant. It's not like that anymore. So I'm pretty sure with the, I don't remember if it was the last software update or the update before that. So either March or February, one of those two updates had fixed that issue. So placing my ear where you would normally place your ear on a phone call, the call, I can hear people on it solid. So I'm glad that that's fixed. Like I said, pixels get better over time. So why not? All right. So that's audio. That's what I got to say about audio up until this point. The body design doesn't really bother me. Some people were talking about that, you know, there's like a split in the middle right here. And I don't know why people are complaining about it, because I'm not, it's the paint hasn't rubbed off. I haven't scuffed it. I don't feel it. I don't care. If there is an opening right here, obviously this phone reverse charges, which I finally got to play around with. And I thought was really cool. It was really awesome. So what initially happened was, let me grab my Pixel Buds. So I was actually listening to music and I whipped out, you know, the old Pixel Buds, the buds and the egg. And I had forgot to charge it. It had been like, I think like 2 or 3 months since I charged it, because I didn't even use it for a while. And I needed to charge them back up. And then I was like, dang, you know, I didn't have a Type-C charger or nothing like that with me. And I was like, wait a minute, my Pixel 5 reverse charges. So I turned on battery share, plopped the sucker on the back of it and just let it sit, and it charged. And I was like, hey, that comes in handy. That definitely comes in handy. The Pixel 4 XL was the best Pixel for sound for sure. Yeah, it was. Pixel does get better over time. I can't say the same for OnePlus. I don't know, because eventually, I mean, I don't have the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. My lady does, but so far she hasn't had, like, she's very picky about, you know, the way the phone responds, the way that the user experience is, and she hasn't complained to me about the Nord N10 5G. So I don't know. That review that I'm slowly working on, because I'm actually getting a lot of the information from her since I'm not using the phone. That's going to be an interesting review, definitely. But yeah, battery share, really nice feature to add into here. It still maintains, obviously, the IP certification for water and dust resistance, so that's actually pretty nice. I still wouldn't take this in ocean water, so if I ever went to go see family in Hawaii, I am not taking this in the water because I don't want this to crap out on me. Let's talk about 5G with this, okay? Because when this phone was announced and everything like that, a couple of my friends decided to downplay and trash it because they're very smartphone enthusiasts, man. They're really on it. Anyways, but one of the things that they were very upset about was that because I had the 765G chip, it was going to have the Snapdragon X52 modem. And they were like, with the X52 modem, it's not going to pick up, specific bands that are crucial with the 5G development. And also, it was going to be slow. Now, I kind of understand that, but at the time, everyone was focused on the Snapdragon X60 modem, which hadn't even come out yet. And the iPhone 12s, they have the Snapdragon X55 modem. So the X52 modem on here, if anyone wants to know, like, what's their top out speeds for download, their top out speeds is 3.1 gigabits per second. That's like the highest speed you're going to get with the Pixel 5 connected to a 5G network with at least a very, very decent 5G connectivity. You're gonna top out at 3.1 gigabits per second. That's what the modem can handle. The uplink, 1.5 gigabits per second. Now, again, I'm probably speaking fast the way that I speak, so I'm gonna slow it down. 3.1 gigabits per second on the downlink, 1.5 gigabits per second on the uplink. That's gigabits, not megabits. So to me, I mean, for somebody like here in the city of Phoenix that I live in, the density for network connectivity out here is pretty bad. I mean, there's like one spot that I know of that I can get consistent over 500 megabits per second on Metro by T-Mobile, and that is the cross sections of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. I'm assuming that N41 is existent in the tower nearby there to get those kind of speeds, about 400 to 500 megabits per second download, and then about like 70 to 80 to at max 100 megabits per second on the upload. But everywhere else, I'm getting basic what LTE pitches, which is just, like 140 megabits per second, sometimes 80, sometimes 60 on the downlink, roughly about 50 to 60 on the uplink. With visible wireless, certain areas where I'm actually connected to true 5G on visible, I can pull about the 200, which is what visible caps you at anyways. The uplink is super strong on visible, so no problems there. Probably good for live streaming. So with my Pixel 5, I'm not getting anywhere near what the X52 modem cap is, downlink and uplink. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, of course, as 5G continues to grow, as more of the technology is built out, right? Like the upcoming C-band that is said to come out, that everyone's excited for, that's following the network and everything like that. By the time then, the Pixel 6 will probably be in my hand, and that will have a more updated modem. Now, I'm still curious to know what the GS101 is using as a modem, and I want to know. Besides also seeing how well Google's chip performs, whether it performs good or performs bad. That's something that I will see with the Pixel 6. Fingers crossed that I'll have enough saved by the time that it releases. I'll be able to pre-order it. But if not, maybe about a month or two after release, I should have it. Let's see, gaming. Gaming on the Pixel 5 is actually decent. Even though it's a 700 series chip, the 765G, gaming on here is pretty solid. Now, everyone knows that I game on Google Stadia. That's where I play games at. If I'm not on Stadia, I'm on my Nintendo Switch playing Streets of Rage 4. If Streets of Rage 4 ever got ported over to Android, it's over. Done deal. I'll be playing on this phone a lot because I'm heavily addicted to that game. That game is like hella fun. If you've never played Streets of Rage 4, get it and try it. You can get it on Switch, you can get it on Xbox, PlayStation. You can get it on Steam. Yeah, and it's fun to play. But I've noticed this though. Certain heavy games, you'll start to see some jank. I swear to you guys will. I mean, it's got to be really, really, really graphic intense and you've got to be doing a lot with the phone. Basic, games, like if I play games on Stadia, like Dead by Daylight, it handles very well. Depending on my network connection, it handles very well. But as far as performance, how the GPU performs, how the display looks, how the animations in the game function, there's not a lot of jank. I'm not seeing dramatic frame drops or anything like that, so that's a good thing. Audio, okay, that's going to go back to what I said earlier about audio itself. So I think the only plus side to it is that if you're holding it and you're gaming, at least you're not covering a top speaker, because that's already covered by the display. But yeah, I can pair my my Switch Pro controller to it. I can pair a PS4 controller to it. Play games, it's just fine, solid. It just does it. Light games, of course, is going to be phenomenally good, because if it's not demanding on the chip, it's not demanding on the GPU, it's not demanding on the RAM. So that's totally fine. But even some of the most heavy games, I can't remember what games I was playing that was pretty heavy. I know it was first-person shooter games, and I tried playing PUBG on here. I think Call of Duty. Can't remember. I'll look at my download history later, but it's not bogged down. So I'll tell people that right now. It doesn't get bogged down. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if I'll describe the what happens. Like you ever play a very intensive game where you start playing it, everything is smooth, but after about half an hour into playing the game, you start noticing that the animations start to become glitchy, kind of like this, your hand will just kind of move like that, like the characters' animations, you know what I mean? And massive frame drop starts happening, those types of things that could annoy people starts to happen. I haven't experienced that with the Pixel 5. So unless somebody knows a very, very intensive game, hit me in the comments, let me know what that game is, and I will try it out and I will screen record, which is another thing too about gaming. So I play Pokemon Go and play other games too. And I do like to screen record gameplay to upload to the channel, because sometimes I play games and I do gameplay on the channel and live stream gameplay and stuff like that. So just for that, while you're screen recording, you would think that because it's running technically 2 heavy commands, that it would bog down the phone, and it actually does not bog down the phone even when you're screen recording. So that's a very good thing. So if you want to get some recorded gameplay, you're good to go with the Pixel 5. So that's actually nice. Let's see here. Going back to photography, one of the cool things about the Pixel 5 is the fact that it's still going to get the unlimited high-res backup. So even if I get the Pixel 6 and the cameras is actually pretty solid on that, more than likely I would just share those photos to my Pixel 5, either by direct Wi-Fi transfer or just uploading it to Google Drive, downloading a copy of it onto the Pixel 5, and then letting Google Photos back that photo up, which will count as free. I know it's very unorthodox to do it that way. It seems pretty crazy to do it like that. But yeah, I mean, Google and their weird, quirky decisions is not going to allow the phone itself, the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 5a, to have that unlimited backup resolution, high resolution backup. I think it's stupid that they're doing that, but yeah. So my Pixel 5, my Pixel 4, both, I can actually use them just for cameras down the road. I mean, that's how good the photography on them are. Even if they have the same exact camera sensors in the back, they still take very good photos. So even then, I can use them for vlogging cameras and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope to be able to do that. Yeah, just in all the Pixel 5, to be honest with people, I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect phone. I'm aware of that. But I don't feel like that the shortcuts Google made were that impactful, if that makes sense. That it would totally, anyone who followed the Google Pixel since day one, since the Pixel 1, would stand here and say, Oh yeah, this definitely doesn't have the pixel signature on it because it doesn't feel like a pixel. I have not heard one person. They may have pointed out some small things about it. Like I'd say it's small because it doesn't directly impact the user experience to deter away from it. From a lot of Pixel fans who have openly said, I'm a fan of the Google Pixels. Not one of them have said that this does not feel like a genuine Google Pixel phone. They all may have said they're not happy that I have the 765G, but that's because on paper, you're looking at a 700 series chip. Longevity support is different on the 700 series chip than it is on an 800 series chip. But not one person that has given any negative complaint about the Pixel 5 has said that it doesn't feel like a Google Pixel. And that's just because Google optimized Android on it so well that even having what some would say a mediocre chip, it still flies like butter. And I would expect Google to be able to do something like this because, hello, Android Go, if you guys forget what that program was all about, that built a very light version of Android to run on phones that had a weak processor, that had maybe at minimum one, what was it? It was like 2 gigs or 1 gig of internal storage and 512 megabytes of RAM at least minimum. So you're talking about some very low end spec devices. And Android Go, which is an operating system, a light version of the current version of Android. So like Android Go 11 is out there, and that makes the phone run not like a flagship, but you're not going to have that crazy feeling that you got when you got that free phone from Cricket that pissed you off and made you run towards iOS. You're not going to have that kind of experience. So Android should know what it's doing as far as software optimization for the Pixel phones. And yeah, the stock Pixel experience is just top notch. Of course, the downsides to it is that there is no headphone jack like the Pixel 4a. So wireless connections is pretty much it. Or if you have your dongle that you got with, I think, your Pixel 4 or Pixel 3, if you have that dongle, you can plug that into the Type-C port back here. Oh yeah, battery. How was I gonna go and switch off to the next thing without talking about battery? I'll say this again, like I say it all the time. The battery is phenomenal in it. I am thoroughly happy that Google went with a bigger battery on this compared to what they put into this. Now, if they had put the same battery that they have in the Pixel 5 in the Pixel 4, not the 4 XL, but the Pixel 4. So if they put a 4,000 milliamp hour battery in the Pixel 4 and then a 5,000 in the 4 XL, dude, this would have totally killed it when it dropped. This would be the phone of the year it came out. But nah, they went with a 2800 milliamp. Crazy. So it was a great move for the big G company to put a solid battery in this thing. I'm telling you, I end the day with this device. I end the day with about 15% now. I know it's gone down from last time when I was first using the Pixel 5. I was ending the day with 30%, but I've actually been doing more things with this. One, I have my smartwatch paired with it, right, via Bluetooth all the time now. Also, I use a lot of wireless earbuds to listen to music and stuff like that from the Pixel 5. So I'm like doing more things on my Pixel 5. Also shooting video. I connected this microphone right here with a Type-C adapter into the Pixel 5 to record video and get better audio quality. So I'm doing a lot more with the Pixel 5. Photo editing because I have photos that I took way back in like 2012, 2013, and we didn't have the whole bokeh effect, the portrait mode, the foreground focused blurred background type shots. But because with Google Photos editing, since I am a Google One member, I'm able to add that bokeh effect to old photos, using the editing options in Google Photos and edit those photos out and just kind of fix them up. So that's also one of the benefits with Google Photos is the ability to edit old photos and give them today's features and quirks and stuff like that. You hope T-Mobile does something special with Team Pixel. Yeah, with that joint venture between Google and T-Mobile, that's going to be something pretty cool. And that could be hell. Right around the time that the Pixel 6 drops, T-Mobile Tuesday can have this thing where, you can enter a raffle to win. You can win some crazy prizes, but the grand prize could be a Pixel 6 or a Pixel 6 XL. That'd be totally cool. Yeah, so battery's phenomenal. The Pixel 5, solid phone. People are like, hey, I want to get one. I'd say go ahead and get one. As a matter of fact, Ray just got one, and I'm actually kind of like, he's lucky. He got his Pixel 5, I think, for like $250. That's crazy that he found a deal. Because I see people on OfferUp and stuff that have the Pixel 5. They may not like it, but they sure as hell are selling it for $600. Yeah, even till today, they're still trying to sell it for $600. Talk about resale on that one. I think with the Pixel lineup, they're getting to that point where they're going to have that pretty solid ecosystem. I mean, they have laptops, the Pixel Book, which, I thoroughly enjoy using. I am going to do a review on this thing that I'm recording with right now, or actually live streaming with right now, my Pixel Book Go. But yeah, very solid. Love the laptops. It's amazing. And I'll tell you guys why in a review. You got Pixel Buds, you got Pixel phones. Really what they need to work with right now is a solid tablet. Pixel Tab would be pretty nice. But yeah. And then they need a watch. Now, I know a lot of people don't really use smartwatches. Smartwatches is another thing that people crave for. You see it more popular on iOS side with the Apple Watch. But people that use Android aren't too concerned with it. They're not too concerned with getting notifications on their wrists or, having, just don't space out on these deals. Oh, T-Mobile Tuesday. Yeah. I have a Spawn watch face. Spawn. But yeah, how cool would it be to actually have a Pixel Watch? Me personally, Google, since you did get Fitbit and stuff like that, if you're gonna make a smartwatch, don't make it as thick as the Moto 360 original. Okay, the size, I wouldn't complain about the size display, but bring it down, shrink it down some. That'd be so totally cool to have a Pixel Watch that was thin, that wasn't so heavy on the wrist. It'd be great to have in the lineup along with the Pixel Tab. Now, I'm really seeing this kind of come through. Just, Google needs to capitalize on it. They really need to capitalize on it and make something out of it. Their phones, they're getting better and better with. And even though some people will disagree with me on this statement, the direction that the Pixel 5 took last year when it released, to me, was a smart decision for Google going into what they're going into right now. Because I think that the end game was to get more pixels in more people's hands. And those people that may have heard about the Google Pixel may have rejected it because of its price of what it yielded before. Now, it wasn't a drastic drop in price going from $799 base model to $699 base model, but it still was somewhat of a drop. Yeah, the Pixel 4a and the 4a 5G. So, the Pixel 5 was still considered flagship in the realm of the Pixel phones, top notch, good features, right? And you have the Pixel 4a, which was like an entry-level Pixel for 2020. But to make the 4a 5G stand out, obviously from the Pixel 4a, the 4a 5G had 5G connectivity, whether you got the sub-6 gigahertz connect version only, or if you bought the one that was millimeter wave and sub-6, depending, you were paying anywhere from $500 to $600, right? It was like $599 for the millimeter wave version. It was $499 just for the sub-6 version. But the Pixel 4a 5G brought a lot of things that the Pixel 5 had, like the dual cameras on the back, the processor chip. It just didn't have the same amount of RAM as the 5. The 5 had 2 gigs more in RAM than the Pixel 4a 5G. So I think the Pixel 5 had like, 8 gigs of RAM, and the 4a 5G had 6. But yeah, so it really blended both polycarbonate body, bigger display than the 4A and the 5. But no water resistance certification, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on the top, same dual sensors on the back for like the normal wide angle and then the ultra wide angle, and then the punch hole selfie cam on the top. So top sensor right there. Same speakers, no reverse wireless charging. So with that, I mean, there was something for everybody. And Google really went after trying to put more pixels in people's hands. So that way, when the Pixel 6 dropped, with Google now switching up and using their own proprietary chip, it would actually be pretty solid. The GS101 is a chip that lots of people are now looking at closely. It could be make or break for Google and the Google Pixels. Hopefully it doesn't flop, fingers crossed. Michael El Burrito. How's Google Fi working for you? I'm currently using it with the iPhone. I feel like they got to add more features. So currently Google Fi is not my carrier anymore. I actually left them out for switch over to Metro by T-Mobile, and that's only because of like certain circumstances that I was going through. Relying on Google Fi with a 22 gigabyte data throttle just didn't work for me. I mean, I burned 22 gigs in 11 days and pretty much was like slowed down for the rest of the month. So I switched out to something that was going to give me a little bit more speed for a lot longer time. And deprioritization, to me, obviously, like I told people so many times, is a lot better than throttle because you're only slowed down for that moment. But once the congestion in the network is over, your speeds return back to normal. So, but if you're using Google Fi on an iPhone, of course, it's going to lack certain features. Now, if you want to be specific as to what types of features that you were kind of hoping you would get with Fi on your iPhone, let me know. But there are certain things that you're going to be able to do on your smartphone with Google Fi on an Android versus what I'll be able to do on iOS on an iPhone. And that's just basically that Apple does have a play and a hand in what they will allow it to do. So it's not just all blame Android type thing or blame Google type thing. You also have to look at Apple and what they will allow. But for the most part, of course, if you use an iPhone, you weren't going to have the ability to smart switch between US Cellular and T-Mobile. That is something that's on the Android side. Android devices have that capability to do it. I'm sure Apple would be able to make that possible. But, in reality, they didn't. So that'd be about like it. I think also the fact that you get like VPN and all that types of stuff free with Google Fi on the Android side, I don't think you get it with iOS. They're free VPN to encrypt your data connection. So yeah, hopefully they just they can make that happen. I mean, seriously, I would definitely suggest it to Google Fi. But as of right now, I'm not on Google Fi anymore. I haven't been on Google Fi for 3 months. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much I gave up my 2-year upgrade thing that I had. Kind of regret that, but I mean, by the time I'd be able to upgrade, we would be looking at the Pixel 6a or the Pixel 7 because it was every 24 months. The only reason why I'm on Fi is because of the international unlimited data. So I debate about switching to Visible. What you could do, I mean, you can pull a Visible line if you want to and use that as your main line. You can keep Google Fi, switch it to the Flex, and if you're not even using it at all, you're paying a low bill of $20, right? So if you go on Visible and you join somebody's Party Pay, your bill would be about $25. If you refer people, they'll knock your bill down to $5 for every referral that you get. So if you get 12 referrals, then for the next 12 months, you'd be only paying $5 a month on Visible. So what I would say is that if you're, paying like $70 something a month for unlimited with Google Fi, if you're not already on the Flex, I'm assuming, okay. If you're on the Flex, let me know. But if you're not, drop your Fi plan down to the Flex. Turn that off, like turn your phone off or take the SIM out, and just keep the Fi Flex plan. It's $20 a month. Snatch you up all the deals you can with Visible to knock your bill at least to like 25. And I can pause my Fi service and use Visible. I use Fi only when I travel. Did they lift the limitations on that pause? Because I remember when you pause, you can only pause for 4 months and then they resume it. Let me know if they actually let you pause it indefinite. But I mean, I would say, you know, and even then, if you have a device that runs like dual SIM, you know, have Fi on your eSIM and Visible as a physical SIM, and just like literally run 2 lines. You can always do that. Yeah, because I'm actually thinking about returning to Fi just to have an account with Fi. And I'm thinking about doing it. If I do it, it's going to be here on my Pixel 5. I have the Visible SIM in my Pixel 5, so I can actually activate Google Fi on the eSIM, put it on the Fi Basics, Fi Flex, which is $20 for unlimited talk and text, and then $10 per gig. But I won't actually be using Fi's data because I'll be using Visible's data. And the thing about it is I believe they unlocked the ability for 5G on both the eSIM and the physical SIM connections. So before, when you ran dual SIM, you lost 5G connection. I believe with the latest update that they did back in March, that opened up. So now you can have 5G service in dual SIM mode. So I'm thinking about doing that. But other than that, I mean, if people were to ask me, would I recommend Google Fi? Of course I would. Let's see. Visible sounds like a good deal. The only problem is using it while I go to Mexico. They have calling to Canada and Mexico now. That was one of the things. So when Visible redid its reward structure, so they brought, you know, they opened up for unlimited members in your party pay. So now it goes beyond 4 members. Now you can have like 1,000 members in your party pay. I mean, they only give you the discount up to the first 4 lines. So the lowest you can bring your bill down to is $25 a month. But you can add more people than just 3 other people on your party pay. Because in case someone decides to pour it out, you won't get that dreaded $30 bill because somebody left your plan. So they opened it up, but they also did the rewards referral. So every time you refer somebody for that active referral of a customer, your bill gets dropped to only $5 for the next month. So if you get 12 referrals, that's 1 year of service for $5 a month. But then also they brought in Canada and Mexico calling. Yeah, you can make those calls there, and I believe they're opening up to using it there. But if not, like you said, you have Fi, and Fi just works. You know what I mean? You don't have to add on anything. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't really have to worry about that type of stuff. Worry about your life. Don't worry about my life. I tell this to people all the time. I don't know why people are so concerned to tell other people what they should be doing with their lives. Focus on yourselves. Worry about yourself, and the rest will take care of itself. So that's all I'm going to say. Adios. I don't dig people like that. I think people should mind their own business and do what they're going to do with their life and stop worrying about other people. That's why stuff hits the fan nowadays lately. Everybody all of a sudden just wants to tell other people what to do. Like, don't tell other people what to do. Worry about yourself. I don't know. Let me know if you guys agree with me on that. I should do a full comparison about the unlimited plans. Like the unlimited plans from like what? From like Visible and Google Fi. Because we can discuss that right now if you're really interested. The only thing that I wouldn't be able to give you a definite on is network connectivity, because of course that's going to vary in the city and state you live in, right? Like here in Phoenix, the density is not that great. So when using T-Mobile and using Visible, the speeds, like for instance, Sneed Mobile Tech, the speeds that he gets on Visible in Cleveland is far better than what I get here in Phoenix. But of course, the density here in the city plays a big factor on it, and just how much work they're doing to the network and upgrading, especially with the 5G build out. So that plays an impact. But so far, between Fi and Visible, on the unlimited plans, Visible beats out Fi. You're in San Diego, Fi works good. Yeah, I hear T-Mobile works good out there in San Diego. And of course, since Sprint merged with T-Mobile, access to band 41 on the LTE side and N41 on the 5G side is going to play a big factor in that, because that's what Sprint was bragging about when they were talking about their network. When I used to work for Sprint at their call center in the retention department, that's all we would hear about from our Sprint liaison guy. He's like, Sprint is going to be better in the next year, and we're going to take back the third position from T-Mobile, and with our 2.5 gigahertz signal, download speeds are going to be blazing fast. And I'm like, yeah, well, now T-Mobile owns that. T-Mobile has that 2.5 gigahertz signal, which is band 41 LTE side. So with T-Mobile, that does help out T-Mobile to a degree. So you got band 41, you got band 71, and also N41, N71, and several others. So that's gonna make Fi is gonna work great, because Fi runs on T-Mobile's network. I don't know what QCI level Fi has, like say compared to Metro. I want to say that Fi's QCI level is lower than Metro's, because when I was using Fi here in Phoenix and I was connected to 5G in the city, my download speeds here were averaging 150 to 160 megabits per second. When I switched my service over to Metro, my speeds is like 250, 300 megabits on the down. So Fi could have a lower QCI level, and QCI level is just talking about its priority to the network. Visible is offering a real unlimited plan. Fi is 22 gigabytes of high-speed data, which isn't bad, but isn't great. That's why Visible is interesting. I don't know how long their prices will last. For Visible is actually kicking. It's actually kicking some major butt in the MVNO world. One of the things that my friends have tossed around in our little chats on like Twitter and stuff like that, we really feel that Visible was Verizon's way of testing Verizon's network without the fallback support of 3G. Because I don't know if you remember, Verizon was talking about shutting down its 3G service, heavily reliant on LTE, and then of course going forward with its 5G ultra wideband. And Visible does not fall back to 3G at all. I know this for a fact, because in places where Verizon prepaid would work because it would fall back to like 3G service connection, Visible would just say no connection at all. So that's one of the downsides about Visible, is that when you're traveling through areas where Verizon only has 3G and no LTE, then you won't have service in that area, because it only relies on LTE and 5G. Because the fact that they don't have any physical stores, like they're not sold in Verizon stores, and there's no Visible store you can go to, allows the company to really, invest what they're gaining in their profits to bring these types of things like Party Pay and the referral program, which brings your bill down from $40 to $25. I still have my Party Pay, so I mean, if you ever do make the switch to Visible, just in the description, I have a referral that'll get you a discount on your first month. Also, I have I think I have a link to the Party Pay in there. If not, I'll post it in there. But you can join my Party Pay, and you'll stay at 25. Baby Yoda, what's up, man? The force is strong with you, bro. But yeah, the benefits of Visible is that one, it's truly unlimited, like fully unlimited. I have not been deprioed on Visible, and I like used it when I was living in a different area of Phoenix. My connection to the network was really good. Like my speeds was amazing, so I was actually using Visible for like home Wi-Fi since I didn't have home Wi-Fi for a while. That's what I was live streaming on. It was either Visible or it was the AT&T business line, but it was mostly Visible because Visible there's no throttle, there's no limit. Even on the hotspot, there's no limit. They say that you're capped at 5 megabits per second on the download with the hotspot, but when I have hotspot on, I've gone beyond that. The download was like 15 megabits per second, so they are trying to throttle it and keep it at 5 megabits, but it goes over. And then the uplink was like a 10 megabits per second, which is good for streaming. The streaming will hold with that type of connection. So that was, I think, one of the biggest reasons why I won't give up my Visible line. Okay, so like, yeah, one of the major reasons why is that, I still have $260 in credit with Visible. It looks like I'm not going to be paying a Visible bill until another year and a half, just because of all the discounts I'm already getting with Party Pay and referrals. And then when I first got Visible, the old referral program gave you $20 credit for every referral. So I ended up getting $400 in credit from all the referrals that I've done about almost 2 years ago. And I still have leftover credit from that. So basically, I'm not paying a Visible line at all. That line's been free for the longest. I didn't know. Interesting. The future of cell phone plan will all be contactless. Nothing is perfect, though. I think Visible sounds good because it uses Verizon's towers, which covers the country. Yeah, it does. The only difference is network access. So like my buddy Carlos, I don't know if you follow him, Carlos S Tech. If you're not following him, check out his channel afterwards, subscribe. Him and Sneed, definitely check them out. Sneed Mobile Tech and Carlos S Tech, and subscribe to them because they do talk about a lot about the network, and people learn a lot of valuable information about how these MVNOs and stuff connect to the network. And I'll tell you this, like Visible has low priority on Verizon's network, so its QCI level isn't the same as postpaid, obviously. But a prepaid company that they've told me that does have the same priority as Verizon postpaid happens to be Total Wireless. Total Wireless happens to have the same priority connection to Verizon network as Verizon postpaid customers. So it's a step higher than Verizon prepaid and all the other MVNOs. Visible would be what anyone would consider to be the last on the priority list to have that access to Verizon's network. Because of course, Verizon is going to take care of its business accounts. It's going to take care of its postpaid consumer accounts. It will take care of its prepaid people after that, and then Visible customers after that. That's if that gives any idea of how the priority level is. I know the download is 5 megabits per second is into effect. Is this recently, Tino, that it has gone past? Yeah, it's been recent. There's been if I go back to where I was staying at before, I'll bring like my Pixel book in the car with me and my Pixel 5 that has the Visible SIM, and I'll connect and I'll shoot the video with my turn that light off. I'll shoot the video with my Pixel 4 to show you that when my Pixel book is connected to the hotspot, I can get over 5 megabits at times. It's not every single time it does that. There's some times that it will hit over. So like I'll do like maybe out of 5 speed tests, maybe 2 of them have surpassed 5 megabits. But most of the time, it's roughly about 5-6 megabits. Like it teeters right there. You can see that it's trying to go higher, but it gets throttled down. But sometimes it'll just kind of go up to 15 and drop, back up to 15 and drop, back up to 15 and drop. So it's like it happens every now and then. True, I assume it would be saturated. Yeah, that is one of the things too, is that like because of what happened with the merger, people trying to find a carrier that provides them the best. Obviously, people know that Verizon is considered number one in the US, and so a lot of people jumped on there. So you also have to expect that too. In your city, if you have a lot of Verizon customers in your city, you're definitely going to feel that. You just earned it. Whoa, thank you. I appreciate that. Michael. Thank you so much. But please also, it's great knowledge to learn it from Sneed and from Carlos too, as far as the network. They know more about the network. They know more about, Verizon 5G build out, AT&T's 5G build out, like the future of the carriers. They really talk a lot about it. So if you really wanted to grab a lot of information on that aspect of mobile technology, please check them out. That's where I learned a lot from the network side of things. I learned it from them, by hanging out with them on their live streams, or, being guest on their live streams, or just talking to them on Twitter. Learned a lot from them and from everybody in Sneed's community. So there's a lot of people that's involved, like Sheep, Moose. I know those sound like weird names, but these guys, they know a lot about the network. And even Zero Cool, who's also, embedded with the network engineering and stuff like that. So these guys are amazing for what they bring out there. And it's great information for consumers to have, because it gives you a better footing to understand how your service is working for you and what could be the causes of those things. Thank you so much, Yoda, for dropping their YouTube channel things. Michael, if you'd like to, click those and subscribe to them and check them out, man. I swear you're going to be satisfied with all the information that they provide. They're very good, good friends of mine. And I've learned a lot from them. And I think if you're interested in that, definitely a place for you to go and hang out and gain some more knowledge, man, because they tested. Like Carlos, he specializes in actually speed testing these things. So like he has SIM cards for Metro, Cricket, Visible, Yahoo Mobile. What's up, Josh? Welcome. Yahoo Mobile, and any provider that we have in the US, Carlos has an account with them, and he goes out. He has a bunch of phones, and it ranges from like OnePlus devices to Galaxy S Ultra, S21 Ultras, and Pixel 5 and iPhone 12 mini, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max. He's got all kinds of phones, and he has these SIM cards. He puts them in the phone and he does speed tests, and he'll go to like different places. He'll even show you apps that would allow you to see like, what tower you're connected to, how much of a bandwidth you have from that tower and everything like that. Definitely good people to check out, Michael. I would definitely say check them out. Welcome, June. Welcome, Josh. I'll just, advertising Sneed because I just got a new subscriber. Michael here just subscribed to the channel and was asking questions about Visible and Google Fi and everything. And so I'm just trying to get him connected into the community so he can gain some more knowledge and everything like that, because he's considering going to Visible. I know everyone has their opinions on it. So I figured, by following Sneed and Carlos, watching some of their videos, joining their live streams and everything, he'll get a better footing as to what would be the best for him to do, where he'll get great connectivity speeds, great cellular connectivity, and not break his wallet. So that's the way to go. Jane, did your live stream ever end from yesterday, bro? I swear, Jane, I was cracking up. I did not know. So that makes me worry about Haps now as a live streaming source, because Gene joined in on Carlos's live stream just as a guest, but it linked Carlos's live stream on Haps to Gene's YouTube channel. So I wonder how that happened. Because even after you left Carlos's live stream yesterday on Haps, the live stream was still connected to your YouTube channel. It was still going on. I mean, I could still go on the live stream on YouTube on yours, and it would comment and it would appear in Carlos's live stream. That was crazy. Yes, it did. I don't know, man. That was crazy. Hopefully Haps fixes that. They definitely do. I mean, I hear Carlos's point of view about Twitter Live. He says it drains your battery and stuff like that. I'm not sure about that, because I've done Twitter Live for my Pixel 5, and I think, for like a long stream, if I was like to start like a long live stream on Twitter, like say like a 95%, it'd probably be down to maybe about 70%. I think like in like half an hour or an hour. Well, let's see here. I came from AT&T, and I will never going back after paying $245 for 24 months. I bought my 12 Pro with Apple Care. I just paid it off. That's why I have good credit. Awesome. But even AT&T is not that bad. If you liked AT&T but you found it to be pretty expensive, when you go to Carlos's channel, you subscribe to him and you start connecting with the community, talk to Carlos about Los Mobile. I know it sounds weird, but Carlos is actually starting his own MVNO. It's powered by AT&T service, but a different service. So while it is AT&T, it's not consumer based. It's under a plan that he worked out with AT&T themselves. So it's unlimited data, no cap, I believe, but confirm that with him because he has a video on his channel that talks about what he's giving. And the hotspot is unlimited. So there's not like 100 gigabyte limit on the hotspot. The hotspot is unlimited. He just recently did a video talking more about it on his channel. He did show us that somebody used like 450 gigs, I think, of hotspot already. So that confirms that it goes beyond that. Cricket sounds good. Had it back in the day. I had it back like 4 years ago. Yeah, Cricket sounds pretty good. My brother, my older brother, Ruben, he has Cricket. He's been with them for like, I want to say 7 years now, just about. He came here in 2012. No, he's had it for 9 years. He's had Cricket for 9 years because he got Metro first in 2012, and in that same year, he wanted a different phone, so he ended up porting his number from Metro to Cricket, and he's been on Cricket ever since. So about 9 years now that he's had Cricket, and he loves it. Yeah, there's people that's like Cricket caps at 8 megabits per second on the download, but that's only if you're on the $50 plan. If you go to $60 plan, it's uncapped. My brother doesn't. He's not capped at all. He's on the 60 plan. 100 gigs is more than enough. Yeah, it depends on what you do. I actually realized that I'm a data hog. In the time where I was kind of going through my transition and moving and stuff like that, being in a place that I didn't have home Wi-Fi, I realized just about how much data I use because Carlos was like, "Yo, you got a line from me. Use the AT&T hotspot on your phone line," and so I was using it on my iPhone XS, and I was like, I was doing live broadcasts like this using that hotspot. I was watching on Netflix. I was watching on HBO Max, and in 28 days, I used 100 gigs of the hotspot, but it's no longer capped at 100 gigs anymore. Like he worked out some sort of deal with AT&T. I'm not going to try to give too much because I don't know the specifics. He does, but just check out his video on his channel. You'll definitely get the word up on it. And if you are interested, reach out to him and talk to him about it, and he'll let you know like all the insights and everything like that. Bobby Warren, thanks for coming in. Hi, Tito. I have Verizon. What carrier is good? What carrier is good for me? I want to stay away from Verizon. Why do you want to stay away from Verizon? Is it really that horrible? I would suggest, first of all, like if you know people in your town that have like different providers, like someone has T-Mobile, someone has AT&T, ask them how their experience has been with either, with T-Mobile or AT&T, and also if they're willing to, ask them to download like NPerf. So I'll put it in the chat here, the name of the app. But have them download NPerf, that's the name of the app, and have them run a speed test and check the speeds for yourself. It'll test the uplink, the downlink. It'll test the ping, so you'll have that idea, and you'll kind of know what to kind of expect. Also, have them download the Fast app, or the Fast.net, I think it is, the one from Netflix, and you can test to see like what the actual like speed would be if you were streaming. I think I have it on this phone. Yeah, so it looks like that fast. Of course, I'm on my home Wi-Fi. So if anyone's like, "Holy crap, 160 megabits per second," like, yeah, I'm on my home Wi-Fi. If you guys want to see what the uplink looks like, it's not that great. 14 megabits per second, so it says. 12 megabits, 10, so it's dropping 9.3. The latency is 12 milliseconds unloaded, and loaded is 25 milliseconds. So it says like 150 down, 20 on the up. But yeah, that is that's how you can test like what the video streaming capabilities would be like. It's too much money for you. Well, I mean, this is through his MVNO. So he's actually created an MVNO, a mobile virtual network operator. So his pricing per line is different. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to go with it. I'm not saying you have to go check it out, but if you are interested, never hurts to ask to get clarification on it. You know, just helping the dude out. Like, he's starting his own MVNO business. He's decided to go with AT&T as the network foundation to back his company. So I'm using it right now currently, and it's pretty good. But yeah, just check it out. If not, you know, if you're making the switch to Visible, I have a Party Pay, but Party Pays are easy to find. But yeah, you could definitely join my Party Pay if you want to. You can use my referral link to get you a discount on your first month. All that will be, I'll put that in the description later. Check back later, and I'll have that in the description. You can use it if you're gonna switch over to Visible. If you're going, it's better to go to Visible. XNay on Yahoo Mobile. Yahoo Mobile is just Visible, but without those discounts. So that's what's crazy. I never activated it. I still have the Yahoo Mobile. I still have the SIM card. If I pop the SIM in a phone and try to activate, it'll charge me $39.99. I don't want to pay for that. The best home internet is Xfinity. I have Spectrum internet and cable. I heard a lot about Spectrum Mobile. You can always give, with these companies, you can always give them a shot. You can always try them out. But doesn't Spectrum use Verizon? If I'm not mistaken, I think it does. Not sure. I think it does. The Spectrum, yeah, they do. So I mean, if you're gonna go on Spectrum Mobile, you're gonna be using Verizon anyways. So it's too much money for you. Money is an issue. Okay. Oh no, I'll talk to Carlos when I see him. I don't know, because Carlos be finding all kinds of freaking deals and stuff to set up to like get extreme savings on Verizon postpaid. I don't know how the hell he does it, so I'll talk to him about it, and I'll get back to you on it, Bobby. I'll let you know. If you guys still use Hangouts, you guys can always direct message me. Just use my email to find me. My email's in the description. I'll also put it in the chat too. You guys can always hit me up on Google Hangouts. I still use it, even though I know Google Hangouts is going to go away. I still have it on my phone right there. Hangouts, still use it. It's bare bones now since they took a lot of things out of it. So even when you try to launch like a video call, it'll try to do the video call in Google Meets. But yeah, it's very stripped down. Eventually, Hangouts will disappear, and Google Chat will be the app to replace it. I mean, Google Chat is available now to download, but Hangouts is still there. So I still use Hangouts, just for nostalgic reasons. I'll use Hangouts till it rides off into the sunset, like every other Google service that got killed. But if you guys ever want to reach out to me and like personal DM me, you guys can do that there. Unless you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys are more than welcome to send me a DM on Twitter. Sometimes I don't answer right away just because I'm always busy. Like I'm busy with my kids, either helping them with their homework, or maybe we're playing puzzles, or they're trying to teach me how to play Fortnite and stuff like that, which I'm totally horrible at. But I will get back to you. Just switching to them tomorrow. Nice. I'll be going live again tomorrow too. So when you switch to them, let me know how everything is working out for you. Like I said, you won't experience a drastic difference from Verizon postpaid. Maybe a smidge, but that all goes back to priority access to the network. And of course, MVNOs and prepaids are going to have a lower priority to postpaid, but it's not horrible. I mean, hey, I'm happy with Visible, and this has the lowest priority connection to Verizon's network. and I'm happy with it. So, and I live in a city where the density is bad. So eventually, hopefully that'll change in the future. I hope they can port over my number. Well, if you're going from Verizon to Spectrum, they should be able to. I don't know if they classify it as a port, because I know when I work with Sprint and somebody from Boost Mobile, which is an MVNO for on Sprint's network, when they wanted to move their number over to a Sprint postpaid account, they called it a migration rather than a port. So there wasn't like a thing that you had to go through this porting process. I mean, you would still have to get the same information, account number, PIN number, to verify who you are and everything. But the actual action itself doesn't require the porting team to take the number over, because it's still within the Verizon pool. They're just going to migrate it from it being if it's a postpaid number, to being an MVO number on Spectrum. So you should be able to keep the same number. That was one of the things too about porting. I talked about it before in a past live stream about how why are there issues when people try to port their number over, and I try to give people some scenarios that will help them kind of stay ahead of each of the carriers, because each of the carriers tend to pull their dirty little tricks to make a port fail. Why do they try to make a port fail? I don't know why. I mean, I know why for the company that you're leaving, why they would make your port fails, because they don't want the port to impact them as they lost you as a customer. So they BS people and they flip the digits on the account number around. But for the company you're porting to, sometimes they get a higher commission if it's an activation of a whole new number versus porting in a number. Sometimes they get a bonus for porting in a number. So I don't know why a new company would make porting a problem. But I gave scenarios as to how to help you find out what's going on with your port if your port failed. But I know Metro tried to pull that with me. Jose actually told me that he was able to port a visible number over to Metro by T-Mobile. And when I try to do that here, they try to tell me that the number on my visible line was not recognizable on one of my visible lines. I have multiple. And yeah, I just said screw it and got a new number with Metro. But yeah, if you guys haven't, maybe I'll link it in the comments a little bit later after the live stream ends. Which I am actually going to end it right now. I've been on for about an hour and a half. So let me do my closing spiel here. And then I need to, I'm probably going to have to go to the hospital later, because this it's like a head rush, lightheadedness that I'm going through. It's now starting to become like I'm dizzy. Like I was dizzy yesterday. I feel lightheaded today. And now I'm feeling dizzy again, and like it's just so weird. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I'm actually surprised I made it this long. Initially, I was only on a live stream for half an hour, so I stayed on an additional hour to what I was shooting for today's goal. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed today's live stream, smash the like button. I know it doesn't show you how many likes and dislikes it has, but you can still smash the like button. It helps circulate these live streams for more people to find them. Thank you again to Michael for becoming a new subscriber. Shouts out to you. Thank you for joining. Also, I do members only live streams, and if you guys want to get down with that, just become a member of the channel. You can choose any of the tiers that give access to those live streams. Those live streams stay specifically for members only, so I will never make them public for anybody to watch, because they are solely for the members. Like I said, check out Sneed Mobile Tech and Carlos S Tech if you want to get more down with network and learn more about network connectivity and how the carriers run the business and stuff like that, so you have a better footing. Knowledge is power. So even if I feel like you don't need to know it, it's probably something that you should know, just to kind of help you as a consumer, because that's what we're here to do, is to help the consumers. And yeah, follow me on my social platforms. Like I said, I dropped my email address. If you want to hit me up on Hangouts, that's the way to do it. You can hit me up on Hangouts or DM me on Twitter, and I respond back. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. I'm not feeling all that well. Thank you guys so much for being here. Love you guys very much. Be safe, be cool, and yeah, see you later. Peace.